On the day I was born, the nurses all gathered round, and they gazed in wide wonder at the joy they had found. The head nurse spoke up to leave this one alone. She could tell right away that I was bad to the bone, bad to the bone, bad to the bone, bad, 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 bad to the bone. I broke 1,000 hearts before I met you. I'll break 1,000 more, baby, before I am through. I wanna be yours, pretty baby, yours and yours alone. I'm here to tell you, honey, that I'm bad to the bone, bad to the bone, bad, 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 bad to the bone.
What is up, everybody? You know, I always start this show off by showing love to those companies that help make this possible. Guys, I want to talk about my friends over at Company Cam. I've talked about how I have used them in every business that I've ran. I think it is invaluable, but I really want to concentrate on AI. AI is the future. We've had several guests talking about it. But, guys, Company Cam is incorporating AI. I want to go over a few of them. You can go to their website, companycam.com, and check it out. But AI now is making it so easy for the technicians when they're in the field. You can create and complete checklists with just your voice. You don't got to hit any buttons. All it's just while talking. Break down language barriers with instant translations of your project communication. If you're talking to someone who speaks Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, whatever it may be, you can communicate what you're doing in that project right inside of Company Cam. Okay, this is huge. Get brought up to speed in seconds with instant recaps of your project and progress. Say it, snap it, instantly generate a shareable report. Add context to photos without a click to show and tell the full story, and then track what got done and what's next without extra work. Guys, Company Cam is an amazing tool to any of the CRMs that are out there. I don't care which one you're using. There's a API for this to be able to link into it. This has been absolutely amazing. I don't care if it's your sales team communicating to your install team, whatever it may be. And now with AI, you can just be talking the project out loud. Hey, this pipe's got to go over here. This has got to go over there. We need to run the return right here, yada, yada, yada. And this is going to build the report for you that you can copy and paste wherever you have to put it, or it's automatically going to go over into Service Titan, House Call Pro, whatever it may be. Guys, Company Cam is extremely, extremely powerful. Anybody out there running a business, any kind of home service business, I highly suggest you go check it out. If you go to www.companycam.com / HVAC Uncensored, they are going to give you a free 14-day trial. 14 days, try it out. No commitment, no nothing. If you like it, they're going to give you 50% off of your first 2 months just for being a part of HVAC Uncensored Nation. So go check that out. All right. Next, last but not least, is my friends over at Yellow Jacket. Guys, I always tell you, I will never, ever tell you where to spend your money or what to buy. I will never do that. But if you're going to buy some new tools before summer comes, you're trying to upgrade some things, all I ask is check out my friends over at Yellow Jacket. The Titan Digital Manifold, all the technicians at my company, I have been getting these for because of the remote viewing. And I don't know if people understand how powerful it is. Somebody like me who is providing technical support to my technicians, this is invaluable. I understand they didn't invent it. Other people have been doing it, but it's a charge. This is absolutely free. When they call me and say, me, the service manager, my install manager, hey, Gil, I'm having trouble. This is what's happening. No more asking what's your pressures, what's your temperatures, all these questions that normally people give you wrong answers for some reason. It's like they don't want to give you the truth. Now I can see exactly what they're looking at through the YJ View app. I can see all of it. Anything they have connected, whether it's the gauges, the wireless devices, I can see all of that in real time and give them valuable feedback to make them be more efficient on this call, get the customer the right answer, the right diagnosis. We can present options, not prevent, present options, and be able to get this call done faster. It has been a huge, I am loving every minute of it. A lot of people don't even know this. If you're out there and you have Yellow Jacket products, that remote viewing, logging, whatever you want to call it, is absolutely free. It costs nothing. Hey, will they charge for it at some point? Who knows? Maybe. But for right now and for the foreseeable future, it is absolutely free. Go check it out. All right. Remember, 75 plus years built into every tool. On to the show. Let's do the pledge. An amazing show for you guys tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States, and thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
Welcome to the #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue collar people talking about blue collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil Cavey Jr.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. I am your host, Gil Cavey Jr. Here we are, another Wednesday, another hump night, and then another amazing show. Guys, sorry about last week. I think I got food poisoning. It was a good day. Everything was good until I was on the way home, and it was rough. I talked to Rookie. I talked to Scott. Yeah, it was rough. Thank God there was no guest last week. But yeah, that's why I wasn't there. Almost thought tonight was going to be a little dodgy because I have a sick little one in my bed, but she's on the up and up, so we're all good. Um, Hope everybody's doing good. I'm sorry. Let me give the shout outs here for a second so we can get this started. But I know Mr. Freon was in here in the beginning. What is up? What is up, Mr. Scott? I see some people coming in as the link goes. Mr. Chris Bird, first time here. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming to check the show out. I know I wasn't here last week. People will start to come in as the show goes, but if I miss you and I don't call you out, I know we'll say something. Remember to put you have any questions, put them in all caps so that I can see them when we're going, or one of my moderators will get the questions to me. But guys, I have a great show tonight. This is I'm fortunate because of this podcast that I get to meet a lot of people in this industry. Some I agree with, some I don't. That's the God's honest truth, but it's always good debate and good topics. This is somebody that's been on the show before that I highly, highly respect. He has an amazing, he's just respected around the industry for what he's been doing for so long with helping technicians be consistent and be successful in the industry. I'm not even going to go into what he does, but I am super excited to have this man on the show. Guys, please put your hands together and help me welcome. Jesus, can't talk tonight. Welcome the one and only Mr. Uncle Joe Crisara.
Thank you, Gil, for inviting me on here. I really appreciate it's a great introduction. I appreciate that. And definitely, it's an honor to be here. Definitely every time I come here, I always get increase my self-esteem as a result. That's always great. Thank you, Gil.
Yeah, of course. So I was getting tongue-tied there for a second, but yeah, no, I'm truly glad that you came on. Like I said, I love what you've been given to the industry so long. Your backstory and all that kind of stuff, and just how you go about it is awesome. We talked a little bit off air, but I know there's all kind of people with their side stuff, and you've just always been stand up and just doing things by the book, teaching people the right way. I mean, you've been doing this, it's like 30 plus years now, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but it was probably publicly. I've been doing it since 2001, so about 26 years. I mean, but I would say I've been in the HVAC business and plumbing business for over 40 years, over decades. So definitely, I've seen some of the been associated with some of the greats back. And some people have sadly passed away that have mentored me and stuff like that, and I kind of help carry the torch forward. And hopefully, I can bring it to people like you who are out there helping build the companies and help the average person reach their true potential and beyond, probably more than they thought they were going to do, right, Gil? That's
Yeah,
what you and
no.
I are trying to do together. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I guess we don't have to go because there's so many things to cover. I guess if this is the first time, God forbid, if they've been living under a rock and they've never heard of Uncle Joe Crisara, I guess just a little bit about yourself before we move on to what you do today.
Sure. Well, I was a service contractor myself. I did every job in the industry in the business. I started out as a plumber, and then I got into HVAC in about 1979. And then I said, you know what, I think I ran out of bosses, and I started my own company in 1985. And I learned a lot about life there. I wound up getting a divorce, and my business was in financial ruins in the first 7 years. I went into business. I didn't realize that you have to know your costs and know how much money to charge. And I had a dysfunctional thought when I first got into it, thinking that if I could just be a little less money than everybody else, that would give me more sales, which is really not it's a poor thought, poor paradigm. And so it drove me about 500,000 in debt back in 1991. And then I was too stupid to quit, Gil, and I just kept going anyway. I said, well, they'll just have to take away my business, and I'll wait for everybody to take it away from me. And strangely enough, they didn't take it away from me. They just kept letting me operate, and I just had enough money to keep going. I wound up losing all my employees, but then I was blessed by one of my customers who said, "Hey, Joe, why are you always trying to lower the price to save people money?" And I said, "That's just what everybody wants." And he goes, "No, they don't. Sometimes people want to buy more stuff and get better stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, Then he showed me the science of pricing, and he showed me like the Dale Carnegie training for winning friends and influencing people, and the Stephen Covey 7 Habits, and Michael Gerber E-Myth books. A lot of different things I was in that year of 1991 I was exposed to. Well, I was 500,000 in debt by 1991, but by December of 1994 I was debt free. So I had all those lessons, and it rapidly made a huge difference. And I went on. I think that recovery story I had, where I turned it around, is something I did for other businesses. And I know you share that passion yourself, Gil, where you help other companies and find people who need help to get to that next level. And I really admire that about you. And I think we do share that same passion, which is to help people get to where they want to go. And that helps our dreams become a reality too. And so that's what
Yeah.
I've been doing. Sold my business in 2001, did pretty well with that. And then I said, you know what, I'm going to go, and I start going on message boards somewhere. Before they had podcasts, we used to have message boards, and I just give them stuff. Hey, why don't you look at this? I'm like, yeah, that's really cool. Can you come out to my place? It started with me going out to their place, and then it started doing, hey, I got to start systemizing this and turning it into a business of its own. And ServiceMVP, which has got 8 coaches. We've got a technology development team. We've got over 28 employees who work for us. And we have a service that no other company does. We train and coach. Last month, Gil, ServiceMVP graduated 713 employees in the service industry graduate from the level 1 training. So every month we orient and onboard new people, and take some of the old people and coach them as well. So nobody does that. Nobody does like 3 weeks straight, 90 minutes a day, graduate people on week 4. And then we have a technology with the option builder that can make options and AI options in 20 seconds right now. And the thing that would have taken 2 hours is now taking 20 seconds. And so we're really proud of the stuff we've created and the tools we've given. And like you said, the Yellow Jacket stuff and the company cam, those are all great advances. And we sometimes take those for granted, but all those things that we have including, your knowledge and your sponsors and everybody. That's really something that people shouldn't take that for granted, because back in the day I wasn't here, but that's where I'm at. And I just keep, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida right now on the road, helping train another team. And I'm just passionate about helping other people, Gil.
That's awesome, Uncle Joe. That is, and I guess it's awesome, and I love the way you do it. Is because you helping the businesses by helping their people, and I guess you can attest to this. I mean, yeah, I've been 25 years. I mean, I don't look crazy old, but this is all I've ever done. Yes, some of the technology has changed. Yes, now there's AI, there's more software and stuff like that, but there's no reinventing the wheel. We still go out to customers' homes. We still have to present them options to fix their system and take care of the customer. The customer experience is key. That's how we keep customers. That's how we can charge a premium. I mean, obviously you have to, if you're going to charge a premium, you need to give them a premium service, but nothing has changed over that time. Maybe the costs have changed because cost of living has went up. I guess, like, when you talk to all these people, what are some of the biggest gripes that people say? Like, I guess, what are their biggest fears when they first come to you? Like, oh, I can't do this because of X, like their biggest objection.
I think, I think there's 4 stages of learning, Gil, of anything, whether you're doing refrigeration or, learning how to communicate with people. And, remember, people are more important than the HVAC equipment, because without people, there wouldn't be a need for the equipment. Does that make sense? Like, we keep forgetting that it is a high technology business, and manufacturers and tools and all that stuff. But without the people we're working with, both from my end to the contractor and with the contractor and their client in the home, that relationship with people is, so I think that's what is tough. You're asking somebody who doesn't know somebody to, create a friendship with somebody every call, and genuinely care about somebody. And that's something that is one of the hardest things I teach, is how to change somebody to see the benefit of creating a relationship. Because, Gil, what I've learned in the years, there's a lot of things that have changed, but one thing I had the same is that all the success we're going to get is through the relationship and the support and respect and the care we get from other people. We have to, HVAC or any business is something that everybody has to do together as a team, both with the client, the manufacturers, the tool suppliers, the employees, the clients. Everybody's working together to make this thing special. And it's all without all those people. The people are the most important part of the equation. And so I think that's one thing that hasn't changed, which is that even as much as we have AI and all that stuff, my only thing would be that AI would aspire to help us communicate and make it easier for the average person to imagine communicating better. And I think that's what I do think is changing, is that there's definitely, you can, like, if I have a problem with a person, it's like I get angry. I'm like, well, what do I say to this person? And of course, ChatGPT or Claude tells me a much better way than I was going to do. Does that make sense?
It's all the information it can get you. Yeah, people think AI is like a robot. It's not. It's a whole bunch of information, and it creates the path to the information a lot faster than you would be able to find it. That's what it is. And it's funny that you say that it doesn't, the relationships and people, because one of my passions that I've always been since I was a child is I've loved to help other people. And I feel like I've gotten to do that using HVAC as the vessel, that I get to help other people, whether it was being in customers' homes and helping the customer, helping Mr. and Mrs. Smith, or now if it's helping the people that work for me, helping them help the customer, it's always been that. And I feel like that's why my love for this trade has always been so strong, because that's just always kind of meshed.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think if you kind of have a discovery in this process, like there's some people who work, like, I want to get a job in commercial because I don't want to deal with people. There are people like that, it's like, I prefer just to work with the machines and not the people. And there is a comfort in the machine because it's predictable. It does the same thing every time. People don't do that same thing every time. So your ability to get comfortable with that can be hard to do. It definitely is not. They always say it's a soft skill, Gil. But if it was so soft, why is it so effing hard? Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. That's funny. And I understand that people worry about the technical side, which you definitely 100% need to have. But you can be the best, smartest tech in the world. If you cannot communicate what you are doing to the customer, when you leave there, that customer can still have a bad experience. Man, that guy was weird. I don't understand what he was saying. So people need to understand that you need to have the technical skills as well with the communication to really be able to excel in this industry for yourself, for the customer, for the company, that you have to have both of those skill sets.
Yeah, I think there's when you find a problem, you have to be able to explain the technical side of the problem, but you also have to be able to explain the impact it's going to have on the family in a way that is meaningful and impactful to the client. And when you explain solutions, you have to explain the technical part of what it's going to do, but you have to explain what it's going to do, like the inverter, motors. There's a technical side of that, but there's the people side where it's 24 times quieter and it'll help you sleep better at night. It's like you got to be able to, communicate both sides of that. If you're only communicating the technical part or only communicating the people part, you're only doing half the job. You got to do both things together. I really believe that.
Yeah, no, I definitely do too. And I don't know, it's funny because I wanted to combat this question because I have my own theory, but I saw somebody in the chat ask about why do people change the names of some of the parts? I don't know if you do that, but if you do, I have a theory on, I know why I would do it. So I'm just curious to what your answer would be.
I don't really think you have to. I've come a long way on this regard. If you saw some of my earlier videos from I would have said, leave out the name of the parts or, the name of the parts like you're saying. However, I have kind of modified my position. Here's what I feel is the better explanation. You can go ahead and mention the part if you want to, but don't stop with the part. Like if you want to say, you have electrical fault in your capacitor on the hermetic and fan capacitor in your outdoor condensing unit. That's a technical thing. We can say that, but you got to continue to say the capacitor is it's part of a system that corrects the voltage so that it keeps the motor and the compressor running cool and efficient. And right now, that's what's causing the motor to overheat, and that's causing the compressor to not start. So without that component, your family will not be. And here's the third part. So the first part is go ahead and say the name. The second part is what does that damn thing do? The third part is that's going to make your family cool this weekend when your mom's coming over after her heart surgery. So that's the third element. So there's the first thing. If you want to say the part, go ahead and say the part. You want to say, don't forget to say what it does, because that shows that you know what you're doing. And then the third thing is, what does it do for the people you're working for? So the three elements, I believe I think I found perfection in that regard now, which is that you shouldn't, it could confuse people if you just replace the name. But I think saying the part is not going to hurt anything. I found that actually this is better because now you're not hiding things. You're just trying to communicate more clearly what every single part does. Like this fan motor and the indoor air handler is got electrical fault. There's power going to it, and it's not operating. It's overheating. So right now the fan motor is not allowing air to move throughout your house. That's why the air is not coming out of the vents. But and that's why when you're trying to get sleep tonight or last night, you couldn't sleep, and that's why it was and the kids didn't want to go to school today. So that was the impact on it. Make sense? So you got to do all three areas of that. Does that make sense, Gil? That's what I've come to, and I think I found perfection in that regard, where it's not what I used to be. I'd say I've kind of modified myself to that degree. I've grown. Like you do.
Hey, there you go. No, and I agree. I don't change it, but I do understand. And if you maybe in the field, you don't always see it, but when you get phone calls from customers, especially the power of the internet and the Googlers and oh, what do you mean you're charging me this for a capacitor? So I understand when people call it a battery, and maybe some people have ill intentions, but not everybody does. So I understand why it's there. They're just trying to get over that hurdle. As long as they're offering the part for the correct reason, they're doing it and they're in integrity, I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I actually agree with you 100%. I think as long as you provide a value, you know what I mean? If you provide a value, let them know why they need it, you make that connection with the customer, they're not going to say anything about what I charge to do stuff. There's other ways to get over that hurdle, but I do understand why people do when they say, "Oh, your battery is bad," when really it's the compressor. Because when you get the Googlers and they search battery, it's not going to come up. We do live in that day and age, and it can be a pain in the butt sometimes. But I feel like if your team is consistent with people like Uncle Joe, who can train your team, that all of them are consistent. They're consistently doing the same process with every single customer. They're all doing the same process, not Steve saying one thing and Johnny saying another thing. When they both go to the same customer at two different times of the year, that's the stuff that gets confusing. So I feel like you don't have to.
Gil, there's another point there too. It's a very good point you made there, and a really good point. But here's the one thing I would also say, that if you're doing verbal packaging to hide the name of the part so nobody can look it up, I don't think you're doing a very good job of explaining the full level of all the service you provide. You're putting all your energy to hiding the part. So I don't really think that's a good energy. I think you'd be better off to say, let me expand more on the level. That's why I say the second part of it, which is this is the service that the part provides for the system, which kind of makes you forget about the name of the part. Like, if I tell you, that circuit board is going to distribute voltage to the inducer motor, the burners, and the gas valve and everything like that. And that's the centerpiece of your system. And that's the part that distributes voltage and converts the voltage. So that part is now electrical fault. There's power going to it, and it's not sending voltage to the, to explain it more clearly, like to a 5-year-old, I would say, right? And then it's like, and that's why, you're not going to be able to enjoy the hockey game tonight when you're freezing in that living room. It's like, if we don't get that thing fixed. Now, if we do fix it, that's what we're going to do, the whole ignition system. I did that. You can mention all this stuff there. But I would say, if you're putting all your eggs in the basket of hiding the name of the part, I think you're going the wrong direction. I think you should be talking more about how to expand what the actual service you're providing in this process. And if you focus on that more, shift the focus away from the part and onto the service, I think your job well done. I feel that's better. Make sense?
No, I agree. And for me, it's when a customer says, "Oh, those capacitors are $15," and it's like, yes, there are some that are very cheap. As far as the standard ones that I offer, I try to get the best ones that I possibly can that are made in the USA, which I do. I have another option for that that's a little bit better, that is made in the United States, which would be the turbo. I try to give the customer options on everything. I don't want to overload them. I have to be able to explain it to them, make them understand. I need them to know what their problem was, what I found, how I'm going to make their problem right, and then how it's going to affect them. Like pretty much what you just said. And I think a lot of technicians get overwhelmed, especially when there's multiple issues. Like the easiest one is as a PM. They'll find 4 or 5 different things, and it's, oh, well, Mrs. Jones can't afford that. I don't want to, you know what I mean? That's why you do a maintenance. That's why people don't renew their maintenance contracts, because everybody thinks you're supposed to go out there and say, everything looks good, see you next year. No, Go out there and tell them everything that you found that is not the way the manufacturer wants it to be. And yeah, maybe the system's running. If they want to fix it or they want to replace some things, great. We'll take care of it today. If they don't, okay, that's okay too. It's their choice. But guess what? When one of them fails, you just validate it yourself. They're going to call back in and be like, man, I wish I would have listened to Gil when he was out here. He told me this was going to fail. You just build trust. You don't have to be dishonest. You don't have to be unethical. If you can do that consistently, you can do very well in this industry. It's really that simple to me.
I agree, Gil. Man, I wish I need to spend more time with you. I can see that right now. That's definitely we're like two brothers from another mother. I mean, honestly, you could start a sentence and I could probably finish it. I think we're on the same page in a lot of ways here. But I would say this: if you ask me how much a part would cost, like Joe, I found that part. Tell me how much. Tell me you found it on Amazon for $15. Go ahead and tell me that, Gil. Go ahead and tell me that.
Hey, Mr. Joe, I found that part on Amazon and it's only $15.
Well, Gil, can I tell you how much it costs when you buy it from us at Acme Services? Can I tell you how much it costs for the capacitor?
Sure.
Yeah, it's free. We don't charge for the capacitor. That comes with the service we provide. It doesn't. We don't charge for parts. The parts come with every service. We don't sell parts without service. So if you want to buy the part, go to Amazon, or I can drive you down to Home Depot or something to get a part. But if you're looking to get the service done, let's not forget, the only thing we sell at our company is service. So you want to stop the call and go to Home Depot, or you want to get the job done? What should we do? That's where what should we do comes into place, like, right? So but honestly, the truth is we don't resell parts. The parts are part of a package that includes the task, the service, the drive time, the time it takes to talk to a customer and connect, the time it takes to diagnose the airflow. Because I would say airflow before charging, ABC, everybody should be like, hey, you know what? We need to look at that ductwork. Is it sized right? Is it sealed properly? Is that filter a 5-inch filter or an obsolete 1-inch filter? Is the coil got biological growth in the drain pan? Is there dirt in the coil? Like that's got to be examined before I even start charging. I will not charge the system or install. Guess what? I won't install an air conditioning unit unless the bottom option, Gil, is let's fix that ductwork. If you're not going to get that unit done right, I'm not going to put a system in a 2026, inverter system into a ductwork from 1988. I'm not going to do that. We're going to fix that ductwork. That's got to get done. I think that's what a lot of people miss. Good service is about being on your game technically, because too many people shortcut it and just go inside the box. The opportunity is outside the box, truthfully. And I really want everybody to know that when you do that tune-up, take your time to look at the whole system. It's something I really believe in, not just inside the box or just do the tune-up. I believe that every single call, the ductwork's got to be, if you do it every call, you just get good at it. And now they have things like Measure Quick and things like that. And it's technology, guys. There's no reason to not get a really good tune-up with these amazing tools we have. And I got a chill down my spine when I just said Measure Quick. I don't own any stock or anything like that, but it's like, it's given us so much knowledge and Blue On and things like that. It's so many resources. It's like, I'm so blessed to go over these 4 decades and see how many resources the average technician has today. It's never been easier to become an HVAC tech than there is right now. Honestly, I really feel that's true.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I teach the same thing, especially up here in the Northeast, is a lot of these houses where their ductwork was designed for a heat load. And then people just slapped a coil on top of the furnace, and now we have AC. There's been plenty of jobs where the people wanted, a high-end inverter, but it was like, hey, I'm not going to put it in here unless we make some other, modifications. And if they don't do it, then I'd rather not do the job. Just because I know that there's going to be a problem. And I always say this story, but I feel like it's so true, is the technicians. I ran 15 calls yesterday. If you ran 15 calls yesterday in one day, that's 15 people that you didn't properly take care of. And that's the God's honest truth. I will always believe in quality over quantity. I'd rather a tech run 2, 3, 4 calls in a day max and really, really have the time to take care of those people than to have them just out there changing capacitors. Because if you change a capacitor and leave and you look at nothing else, I'm sorry, that's not a good job, in my opinion.
No, I don't think it is either. I think I tell a story in my book, what you do, what's in there called The Story of the Flat Tire. And it's very appropriate. I would say, hey, what's your flat tire? Because I worked at I went to this tire shop, called me, and they said, all the guys are just quoting patches. They're not selling tires anymore. I said, well, let me go look and see what's going on. So every customer came in and said, yeah, I just want to get the tire fixed. I got to get to work. I didn't know. And so the tire providers just kept patching the tire. And then I said, hey, why don't we just show them what it costs for all the tires, even though they're still working. One of them is flat. It does have 150,000 miles. They're bald. So you're going to wait for every tire to go flat? Or do you want to change the tires one at a time? Or you want to say, hey, we could change all those tires right now and do the oil change and everything. We could just do the tires. We could just do one tire. We could just fix the tire at the bottom. So if you give all the options, Gil, I think that's really what it is. It's a more permanent job at the top and long-term, a temporary at the bottom. I think that's really I think that's just a metaphor for the way things should work. And I think if you're going to do all that, it's going to take more than you can't do 15 calls in a day if you're going to do all that. That's going to look at the whole system, make the options. And every time I hear the happy loser contractor say, I don't got time for that stuff, that means you're definitely focused on callbacks and making more callbacks for your team. When it does get busy and it gets hot, you'll be flooded with callbacks now for all the calls that you didn't fix the right way during the springtime when you had a chance to fix it on these maintenance calls, for sure. Make sense?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I see somebody in here, and not to call you out, I just see it like super diesel, and just and not to pick you out, I'm just going off your question when he says it's all about the sale or the selling tech rule, guys. I came up as a technician, and now I'm fortunate enough to own and run businesses, so I've been able to see both sides of it. I remember being a technician where I thought keeping the ticket as cheap as possible is what the customer wanted. And yes, I know a lot of you guys are not residential techs. This is the residential industry. That is not true. And so many guys, I interview guys all the time because of their knowledge and what they've done in the past. I've been doing this 20 years and I want to make $40 an hour. Okay. But then they want to go out and change a capacitor. Yes, they get the system running, but they don't look at anything else. Well, guess what, guys? You don't make enough money to pay your own salary. That's the problem. This is a business, whether you like it or not. Trying to find the way to do it in the middle, and that is why we say options to every customer. If you're that really good tech, you have the knowledge, look at the whole system. Take the blinders off. Don't find the one problem and leave. Look at everything. Bring it up to the customer. If they decide to only go with the capacitor, hey, so what? But maybe they may decide, hey, you know what? I do want to fix this. I do want to do that. I thought about adding this. Maybe your ticket does get a little bit higher. Don't be those people that, oh, I'm not going to be a selling tech. I'm not doing this. Every call you go on as a sale, don't mind F yourself like that. And I mean that in the nicest way. Go out there, be thorough, offer everything that you see consistently. I promise you it'll change your life. I promise you.
Gil, I really feel like if you can tell the company's on the wrong focus when they say things like you're a selling tech or you're a phone closer or those kind of terms, because nobody can really sell a client. The client has to sell themselves on, this is the kind of person I believe can get this job done right. So it's not about you selling more stuff. It's about you not being afraid to offer a more permanent way to fix the electrical problem on the outdoor condensing unit, or a better. You got a refrigerant leak in the system, and you find it in the line set, but you realize the line set is the original line set from like 20 years ago, and they replaced the indoor and outdoor unit, but they left it in the old line set. But the more permanent option would be actually replace the line set now. even though it wasn't done 5 years ago. And then let's put a filter dryer in. Let's go ahead and make sure that, let's look at that indoor coil too, and that ductwork, and that should it be a 5-inch filter or a 1-inch filter for a 4-ton? There's no 1-inch filter that's going to work for 4-ton. It should be a 5-inch filter. So I believe that the 5-inch filter is the new minimum that's going to have the static pressure. Since now the industry, listen, I was taking static pressure in like the late 90s, and I thought I was like way ahead of everybody. Nowadays, everybody's doing static pressure. It's just a normal thing people do. And I'm really happy. I'm happy about that. When I see people do that, it makes my heart warm that I feel like I've made a difference. Like I'm part of what has driven that kind of thing, and NCI and things like that, that are on the same page I'm on. Jim Davis and colleagues like that. And, so many people who are on the same page as that. But, the bottom line is that if you do a thorough diagnosis and take time to do it right, you explain the impact on their family, and you there's a logical reason. The thing is 15 years old, and all the components are 15 years old. So if I just do the contactor, we should do the capacitor, contactor. There's a case for replacing the fan motor before it's dead. Why do we have to wait for it to die? You're going to wait for your tires to pop in the middle of a desert before you replace them, or you want to replace them before they go bad? So I think the HVAC industry, the paradigm for years had been only fix. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Then otherwise you're a selling tech. You're just you're a guy who sells stuff. Honestly, it's like, I don't give a crap what people buy. I'm just saying, here's the better way. Motor. If you did a motor, how many fan blades did you sell? It didn't sell. You offer. How many did you offer? Motor, fan blade, clean the coil, contactor, capacitors. If you got a bad fan motor, all that stuff should be the premium option every time. The bottom option is the motor, and you use your ultimate puller or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But why are you making a decision for the customer? Just tell people, here's the best way to renew and update the unit. Here's the mid-range, the professional way, the motor and the blade. And then the bottom option, just the motor by itself. Make sense? So why are we deciding for customers what they should do? Why don't we just say, like when I went to that tire shop, listen, Gil, that tire shop was averaging $264 per every customer who came in when I first got there. After 30 days, after I said, hey guys, why don't we offer all the tires? For like the top option was tires, brakes, shocks, and oil changes and warranty, and all the way down to just the fixing and patching. The average sale went from $264 to $2,619. It wasn't because they were better salespeople. They were just better at offering the full range of solutions, and the client just automatically bought it without having to sell it. So I believe the selling tech label is an inappropriate and a really poor label. I wouldn't even, if I had a company, I would say, if I worked at a company, I would say, hey, let's change that to system engineer or something like that. Or if you want to verbally package that name, you can call them just something like that if you want to. But, I don't really believe that the selling tech, you're kind of off on the right. Your culture is going to turn into the wrong thing, I think, by even having that name.
I agree 100%. We just have techs that work for me. Maybe some are better at other things technically, and then that's our job, or the dispatchers know of what guys, this guy can do oil, or this guy's good at geothermal, or something along those lines. But they're all technicians. There's no such thing as a selling tech as far as I'm concerned. And I think a lot of that is, there is some big boys that did it, but I think that's also been created by this image that some people create. And I believe that it's about offering options, something as simple. It's also the world we live in. It's knowing your customer, giving them all the options. Like, for example, if you go on your phone and you order Uber Eats, like say you're man, I'm hungry. I don't feel like going out. It's been a long day working. I'm going to order a sandwich from McDonald's, and you order something and you hit done to place your order. Right before it takes you to pay, it says, hey, would you like a apple pie, a milkshake, a cookie? It's the world we live in. And you're like, oh, well, I wasn't thinking about a milkshake, but that sounds good. It's the mentality. People like options. You don't go to a restaurant that sells one thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't understand the thinking where people just think that, by offering customers things is a bad. I don't understand how people think that's a bad thing. It baffles me.
Yeah, we always order our groceries on Instacart now. We don't like going to the store. We go to the store, but we go pick it up, right? We order on We like the Instacart thing because it has a shopping list of things I bought last time,
You can see
kind of
the
reminding.
total.
So is it upselling me, or is it just reminding what I normally do? Does that make sense? I
Yeah.
don't. I wouldn't call it upselling. It'd be like, oh yeah, I got to get some more dry roasted peanuts, most out of that, or whatever. I got to watch a ball game. To watch a ball game tonight, I need to get a 6-pack or whatever. So whatever it would be that I wouldn't call that upselling. I call it just a reminder system that, hey, this would be something that would go with it. And so I think you sell yourself on that stuff, right, Gil? It's not like the software sold, or DoorDash never sold me something. It was me who opened up that software or that Uber Eats, and I'm the one who I victimized myself. But then I guess what? I didn't have to get off my butt. I was able to watch the ball game, and the food came to me.
Yeah, no, true. My Orioles are actually winning.
Good.
Sorry, I got the score up here. We've been getting our butt kicked by the Yankees, so I see. Speaking of ball game, my O's are winning, so I'll take it.
Well, I'm happy to hear that because I'm always rooting against the Yankees. You know that. That's one thing. We're
Yeah,
on the
well,
same page there. I'm a Chicago White Sox fan, but so I have we're starting to win now too. We're not doing too bad. Where this is going bad. I know it's a lost White Sox fan, right? Because who would like that team? But I do. So
yeah, I don't mind them. Hate the Yankees, but the Yankees just beat the living hell out of the Orioles for 4 games straight. So I can't really say much about the Yankees, but we'll see. I'm looking up there, and they didn't find a way to lose. So yeah, I'll take it. But we can beat this topic with a dead horse. I guess let's get on to Service MVP and how you're able to help change some of these people's lives by just you know pretty much the things we're talking about. You're able to teach them in a consistent, honest, ethical way to be able to do this every time.
yeah, we have eight coaches, 2 coaches in each time zone, and they start at like 7 a.m. Eastern time, and we have other coaches that go from there, and they go all day long. So we have for both the field, the office, and leadership. And it's a constant thing. We're like a university that's every month taking on new employees. We probably have 150 different clients that are bringing. So imagine you run companies, Gil, and it's like, how do I get all these new guys trained? Well, either you, the owner, or managers, got to train every new person who comes in, or Service MVP does that. And I just think we do it more consistently than any company would do it on their own, because they got a bunch of stuff they're doing. Like somebody joins you in the middle of July, it's going to be hard to be consistent when you got 3 new guys joining you. And you're most likely going to just throw them in a truck for a couple of months and warehouse them in the truck.
Yeah.
So we provide a service that says, hey, let's orient and onboard everybody 90 minutes a day, 3 weeks straight, and then you graduate on week 4, and you get a video, you get a certificate, and it's changed lives. I mean, honestly, we average about 600 new people a month that we brought into this industry, all the heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical industry, and we've made better managers too. We have that call-by-call management where you're monitoring the calls, and now with the technology, you can check to make sure that the diagnosis was right, that you got that measure quick, or you got some of the other your tools that the manager can see from a distance, like you're talking about before, the yellow jacket tools that can be monitored, and the manager can see what's going on out there instead of having to ask your question or get the wrong answer. You see the accurate picture. And so I really think that this is the management. We teach the management system how to, Yellow Jack brings the tools. We teach people how to use those tools. That's the best thing that we do. So, and same with the phone, and same with the new technology. Even if you're going to set up your customer service team or even use AI, there's a way to set it up the right way, and so it does what you're trying to get it to do. And that's what we do. We help companies like that. And after they do that first month, they just have a once a week thing we do, and we have hundreds and thousands of people. I think there's 73,000 people who have gotten trained by Service MVP over the last 5 years, something like that. So it's quite a few people.
That's awesome. One of them came in here. It's not letting me scroll for some reason, but on here it was Dizzy Dallas, and he said Uncle Joe came out to my shop and trained us, and it worked wonders. So
Nice.
his
Thank you.
comment
Thank
was
you,
in
Dizzy
here.
Dallas. Thank you, Dizzy
Yeah.
Dallas. I appreciate that for sure. And we have a lot of people. Honestly, it's like I'm always shocked that people who I'm surprised people know me. Actually, like I'm like, you're Uncle Joe, aren't you? I'm like, yeah. Like I go to a show and it's like people are stopping me all the time. I'm like, I thought I could just hide out.
And it's funny when people, they're like, why do you call him Uncle? I'm like, I don't know. That's just his name. Everybody calls him Uncle Joe. I'm not going to be the one
That's-
weirdo that just says Mr. Joe. So it's just Uncle Joe.
I didn't make that. I didn't make that up. It's not my label. People start calling me that probably because I think as I got older. Now I think I might be Grandpa Joe pretty soon, Gil. I'm not sure. Sure.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I just, I love it. And I want people to, see this and know that there is ways out there to help. So let me ask you this, like, say, does this have to be on a company base? Like, say there's just a really empowered technician who says, I want to do this on my own. I mean, can they call you, or would that even work?
I just got a guy from Calgary, Alberta, call me right before the show, and he's like, "Hey, I want to change myself. I hear people online talking about how much money they're making. I just can't figure it out." And I said, "Hey, why don't you come to every month? We have a live, with only company that does this, a live 5-day training event called Total Immersion. We just did it last month in Denver. We have it again in California, but we have every single month a Total Immersion Service Summit. We have that every single month, and that's the fastest way to change someone. It's like you get 4 weeks of pre-coaching for one person, you get a 5-day event, and then you get 4 weeks of personal coaching from me afterward. And we probably get about 20 to 25 people at these events every single month. But that's probably the fastest way that a single person could invest in themselves. And when you do come to us as a single person, we try to make it on a payment program that's affordable so they can find their way there. But you would have to invest in in going to do this to change yourself, because you're not going to do if you bleed it out. Like we have our book, What Should We Do, which has sold 178,000 copies on Amazon. I mean, you could buy the book and listen to the Audible or whatever, and
I've
it would
read it
take
4
you probably
times.
it'd probably take you a year to learn all that stuff. And you might have to read it again like 4 times, like you said, right? Where the total immersion is like a condensed, like I'm not just going to teach it. We're gonna do it in that training class. And again, with the technology, Gil, with the option builder and things like that, never has there been an easier time for me to teach people how to make options. I mean, it would take me like 2 days to do that before. Now I'm able to just spend more time with the guys and less time trying to teach how to make options. So I'm really, again, all the technology has blessed me to spend more time with people. And I think that's really my lesson on technology, is that technology enables us to have a gateway to spend time where we really should, which is with other people and not with our phones and things like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm curious to get your opinion because I've actually done it both ways. Both ways work. When presenting those options, whether it's on an iPad or doing it like pen and paper, do you see the value in one over the other? Do you think it really makes a difference as long as you're constructing those options correctly?
I've seen somebody make really good option sheet on paper, but they couldn't explain it properly. And I've seen somebody make a really good option sheet on a tablet and they couldn't explain it properly. So if you can't explain it properly, no matter what you put it on, it's you can put it on a shingle. It's a SOS, they call it. Remember that?
Yeah.
And so you can put that on the shingle and it's not going to work. So, I would think getting it right, even if you had to simplify it and do 3 options or whatever, is better than doing no options. But I think you can't overcome when you're not explaining the problem and the impact on the people and explaining the solution and the benefit to the people. If you're not able to do that, or you're not understanding those things, you're not going to earn your way. The tagline, my famous tagline is "What should we do?" which has been duplicated and imitated, but never stolen from us. It's just been other people lifted it and used it, which is fine. I'm happy that they do that. I made a whole book on it. So I figured I might as well give you a whole book so you can use it, right? But you have to earn your way to that. What should we do? It's not something that you just say, what should we do? Because that would confuse people. You got to be like, here's the problem. Here's the impact on your family negatively. here is the solutions, and here's how these are going to benefit your family positively. So here's everything. What should we do? And so I think if you're slow it down, simplify it. I've seen people have chicken scratch on the paper, but sell a $30,000 job. I've seen people who have really good presentations, but they can't explain it, so they don't sell anything. So I think the media, it's like saying if a guy came to you and said, "Yeah, podcasts don't work to promote yourself," like because I had one podcast I did and it sucked. If you had one podcast doesn't mean the medium of podcast is bad. It's just the fact that the one you went to wasn't as good as the HVAC Uncensored, which is the best podcast of all time. We all know that. That's
Trying.
and no matter what happens, Gil, you have to keep doing this podcast. You owe it to society. You can't stop.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's been almost 10 years now. The podcast just, broke 10 million downloads, which I'm extremely grateful for. I figure as long as I get in front of this microphone and people want to listen, I'm going to keep doing it. So,
I can tell you what, you have one proud uncle. And I'm always so proud of you and what you do. And you're a truth teller, and you shoot straight, but you're respectful. And I love the tone, yet I love the uncensored nature of things too. So I love everything you're doing here. So I think I'm very proud and honored to be here, Gil, and humbled but confident. I know I can help. So thank you so much for all the stuff you do for all the people out here.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Uncle Joe. I appreciate it. I feel like this podcast has been a blessing because I've been able to help people that I know more than them, but then I've been able to learn from people that forgot more than I know. So I've been able to get the best of both worlds. And it's truly been a blessing. And we're getting to that time limit. So I want to thank you so much for coming on and for what you do to the industry out there, helping people. We're getting people into the trade, young people, old people, whatever it is, and getting them to learn the trade and then how to truly help customers. That's how we're going to keep growing. We're going to keep doing things right. And it's awesome that you're out there doing it, and it's ethical, it's honest. It's just teaching people the nuts and bolts and how to make this repeatable. I always say that it's like a heartbeat. Some people may go to one call and they do it exactly the way they were supposed to. Then they get lazy in the second call. Oh, I'm going to add my little twist to it. And then everything goes haywire. And part of it is about being consistent. And I think that's where, anybody that goes and does your training, if they do exactly what you taught them consistently, it's going to work. They're going to see the results.
Well, thank you, Gil, for your support and your respect. I definitely appreciate that. And if anybody wants to come and see me or just talk, you can always just go to ServiceMVP, and we have a little chat bot in the corner. You could just ask to me or one of our team members, and we'd be happy to give you enlighten the path. I always say there's two paths, Gil. There's a path where we can enlighten it and make it easy for you. Dark path where you try and figure it on your own. I think doing it together is much easier, and it's way more economical too, because you're not having to make the mistakes on the dark path. You're able to be on the illuminated path, I'd say. Thank you, Gil, for so much for all the service you provide. I really appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, you as well, Uncle Joe. And I'll make sure I keep a link so anybody can find you. But thank you so much for your time, and I hope to have you on again sometime.
Again, for sure. No doubt about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle Joe. Everybody, if you want to check out Uncle Joe, there's going to be a link in the description to be able to check him out, but you can go to ServiceMVP.com. And guys, some of you in here, man, I really do feel sorry for you, especially some of the ones in the chat. Like most of my friends, they joke and they do stuff like that, but guys, you have to be very good technically, and you have to be able to offer this stuff to customers, and you have to be able to give them options. If you don't, you are truly doing them a disservice. I promise you that. I did it for years. I know what works. I've been able to build several successful companies in an honest way and impact some young men and young women's lives, and they're out there doing things honestly. So I hope that you guys can get off that negativity and mind F yourself. You know, don't be out there lying to anybody. Just offer options, be honest with everything you see, be able to explain it. And it really is that simple. All right. And also do it on a consistent basis. So hope you guys learned something from this podcast. You should. Uncle Joe is an extreme value to this industry with what he provides. He's one of the stand-up trainers in the industry that does it right. You don't see him on here caught up in the BS and the drama and stuff like that. That's never him. He's just about the facts, giving the answers, helping people. And that's one of the things that I highly, highly admire and respect about him. So I've always told anybody, if there's one person that I had to recommend for this, that's who it would be. All right. With that being said, man, I'm going to start to close this out. I appreciate all of you that listen to this, everybody that's here on the live show. Thank you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please make sure you go ahead and like, follow the podcast, share it with other people so we can get this out to as many people as possible. Yeah. And with that being said, let's get on with this, closing this thing out. Guys, please remember to keep your head on a swivel. I want each and every one of you to make it home the same way that you left. All right. We all got somebody that cares about us. I don't care if it's driving, the roads are crazy. Make sure the breaker's turned off, putting the ladder up, whatever it is, please, please be careful. Do the little things. Set yourself apart from the next guy or girl. All right. Like things like this. Keep being the best version of yourself. Keep trying to be better. There's no such thing as staying the same. You're either falling behind or you're moving forward. Read a book, take an online class, take a course, listen to a podcast, watch a video, whatever it is. Keep trying to excel. Keep trying to make yourself better. And last but not least, give a shit about other people, all right? Just spread positivity, and it's funny how that makes things better. Care about your people you work with. I always say this, if you work with someone and you notice that person for 10 years has always been on time and now all of a sudden they're a little bit late, a little bit late, a little bit late, go ask them, "Hey man, is everything okay?" You never know that conversation could be the one that changes somebody's life, all right? Don't sweat the small stuff. Spread positivity. With that being said, man, I love you guys. And until next week, I'll talk with you mofos later. See ya.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored Podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.
See ya.